Sigourney Weaver is having quite the year. I'm here for it. Hi everyone, it's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. We're going to bring some popcorn for Grant, everybody. We're here to talk about a movie. Movies and TV is what we do here, and that movie is Call Jane. Call Jane is directed by Phyllis Nazi, who previously did, this is her first theatrical film as a director. She previously directed the HBO film Mrs. Harris, and she also wrote the terrific 2015 film Carol. That, of course, was directed by Todd Haynes, so she did not direct that one. But she writes and directs this film called Jane. So what's the film about? Well, it's based on what was called the Jane Collective. This is a group of people where we begin our story within a terrific opening shot. Elizabeth Banks plays Joy. She is a housewife, kind of pseudo-conservative housewife, typical suburbanite. It's the late 1960s. And she basically, in a great opening scene, she's coming out as the Vietnam protests are happening, which of course were depicted, for instance, previously in like the trial of Chicago 7, the whole world is watching. And in this great shot, we kind of go from the gala she's in, where she's all dressed up, to the outside where this is happening. This will turn out to be prophetic, because it's the late, like I said, in the 1960s. She has a 15-year-old daughter. She's married to her husband, played by Chris Messina, and she's also expecting their second child. Until one day she passes out in her home, and her doctor said, look, with very little margin of error, basically, you kind of have one or two options. Either this second pregnancy is going to kill you, basically. It was the death sentence. And they said, okay, listen, Joy, we can either, because of how fucked healthcare was then and now for women, said, okay, we can either convince the board to do a therapeutic termination of your pregnancy, or and possibly save your life, or you're shit out of luck and you're probably gonna die. Of course, being a woman back then, they say no. She attempts to get an abortion somewhat illegally, and in the process of that and bailing on that, she soon comes upon an ad that says, pregnant, need help, call Jane, and it has a phone number. She calls the number and she's given to the Jane Collective. This is not it's not just one Jane, they're all Janes. The head of the operation is Virginia. She's played by the great Sigourney Weaver. And basically, they run an underground network of, at the time, illegal healthcare for women, particularly abortions. And through this experience, she soon begins to bond with these people. But various external forces, including her own home life, begin to threaten to tear down the walls of their establishment. And can they make it all turn out okay? Let the battle for equality begin. So, Call Jane is a really good film that I think just misses being a great one, and I'll explain why in a minute. First thing to say on the good side of it, the acting, phenomenal. Not just Banks and Weaver, but we also have people like one named Masuka, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, who's phenomenal. But her character unintentionally feeds into one of the issues I have with the film. It has nothing to do with her. You got some nice little drop-ins from, again, Chris Messina, Kate Mara. John Magaro has a really terrific scene as sort of a Serpico-esque undercover cop. You got Corey Michael Smith, aka the Riddler from Gotham, as sort of the flippant and sort of, as they describe in the movie, capitalist pig of a doctor who may or may not be on the up and up, all giving pretty good work. And the characters are complex. I actually like the fact that the Chris Messina character is a flawed character, but he's not an asshole. He's not like an abusive husband. So that being said, It's an interesting story. It's a true story. Good performances. But I have some issues with the film. Now, first and foremost, and it's not too dead. I mean, I'm still going to recommend this film pretty highly. First off, I think the film plays it a little safe. I think considering the subject matter, I think sometimes it kind of goes, it's shot on 16mm, it kind of goes a little bit for that sort of sunny late 60s, early 70s aesthetic, a little too hard, and almost sometimes borders on flippant. But I think that one thing the movie does well is that when it gets to that point, there's a scene that really shows the reality that's really terrific. But that also leads me to my other problem, which is that there's a lot of interesting and thought-provoking questions this movie has that they kind of leave on the table. For instance, in Masuka's character, her character is the lone woman of color in this collective. And there's a really great scene where she's talking, basically confronts Sigourney Weaver on her failings as an activist by expressing to her that she's not giving, that the people suffering the most from these sort of situations are people of color who can't afford in this area, who can't afford the service, and that she's using her privilege to sort of blindside them and sort of marginalize them the way that society already has marginalized her people. And that's a really interesting idea, and they talk about it for like a minute. There's a really great scene with it, and then Sigourney Weaver does something, I'm not going to say what it is, that's you know, like a good thing, and then it's kind of hunky-dory. You know, it's the focus sometimes seems a little narrow, it seems a little safe. The Joy character apparently is based on many real people, it's a composite character, which is fine, and I actually think that Banks is terrific in the film, but I do think sometimes by making it just that typical suburban housewife idea, it gives us, as an audience, sort of an interesting way in, but I think sometimes it sort of sidesteps the more interesting characters like Weaver's character and like Masuka's character. That being said, I did really like this film. I thought it really had some interesting things. I thought that certain scenes, I like that it tries to somehow, some way, and I think this also plays into the save to it, show the reality of the situation in a way that even if you are on the opposite side of the political spectrum on this debate, you can kind of still watch the movie and appreciate it as a movie. But then again, I also that also feeds another problem, which I wish it was a little bit angrier. I wish it was a little bit, was less willing to play kind of nice as it is. That being said, however, again, the performances are terrific, the screenplay is really good, and I want to point out another terrific scene involving John Magaro's character, who is an actor I always like. He's kind of one of those guys who, he always is kind of a bit part in a lot of stuff. But he was in a movie like 10 years ago I saw, this little indie movie where he was the lead, with James Gandolfini and Bella Heathcote, called Not Fade Away, which I love that movie, which was also set around this time period. And in this movie, there's a really great scene, and it's the one scene he's in the movie. He's credited, but he's only in that one scene where he's sitting talking. He's basically an undercover cop who's sitting and talking with Elizabeth Banks, and sort of implies that he's on her side, might not be on her side, and then talks about a friend who needs the Jane's help. And you can kind of hear in his voice like the crack where he really has an emotional investment in this. Very good scene and a very good, although brief, performance from Magaro. But yeah, this was a really good film. And I'm not going to go all the way, but I'll go pretty far with it. I think that, I feel like this could have been one of the best films of the year if they just... I feel like, it's going to sound very strange, but I feel like Till is sort of a good example of this week, of recently, of a movie that is slightly less conventional in the way it tells a story that could have been very conventional. This one's slightly more conventional. That being said, it doesn't have that fire in it, that it really needs. But that being said, it has enough of a flame to it that it makes it worth watching, and, I'm just going to end it there. I'm going to give Call Jane 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was a really good film. I think that it was really close to being a great one. I just think that I'm a little moderately disappointed that I didn't think it quite stuck the landing, but I think what it's about is important, and I think that it does do a good job of sort of, kind of in layman's terms, show that, especially right now, this is sort of a reality. And it's still a reality, and that sucks. And I think that really works. Alright. Review over. Let's talk some trailer trash. I also should mention it was kind of a funny situation at our screening. So the power went out about a little over halfway. I'd say maybe like 70 minutes in, and it came back right away. The lights didn't go down, and then the credits rolled and the lights went down. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it's random. So we didn't lose any of the film. We saw the whole movie. Picked up right where we left off. But yeah, it was just kind of a funny story. Trailer trash. Let's talk some trailer trash. The Menu, talked about it, looks good. Spoiler alert. We talked about this with Bros, I believe. This looks really great. Jim Parsons and Ben Aldrich. It looks really good. Babylon looks good. Talked about it a bunch. Devotion looks good. Talked about it a bunch. She Said, which my friend Raul worked on, so I'm gonna have to be, yeah. But I'm definitely excited about it. I'm definitely not gonna. It's gonna be hard to be objective, but apparently I'm not gonna need to because it's supposed to be pretty great. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever looks really good. To the End. This is a documentary about AOC. Looks kind of interesting. And was there shawarma? No, there was not. All right, we will be back tomorrow. Also, the Coldplay concert was great. Just wanted to add that in there. Tomorrow we will have a review of Tar, starring Cate Blanchett, which I've been looking forward to. We will also review probably Sunday for Run, Sweetheart, Run. Monday we will talk about, on Halloween Day, we will talk about Wendell and Wild. And then on Tuesday, it's not going to be on my channel, but over at RWR Movie Reviews, you'll see him commenting a lot. I am doing a Tuesday night hangout. So come by his channel. We're gonna be teaming up together, and we're gonna chit chat, and then you can comment, put questions, whatever, and join the fun. So come join the hangout Tuesday. It's gonna be Tuesday night, November 1st at 6:00 Central Time. So you'll be able to find the time zone on the video, the thumbnail. So yeah, check us out then. And more to come. That'll all be next time. And until next time. Also, we will watch All Quiet on the Western Front. I think I'm going to watch it next week. I'm going to have some more time freed up. Alright. Yeah, that'll all be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. Appreciate you all. I love you all, classes missed. Live with you 1,000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does, if that's supposed to do, or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's, hey Grant, I like waffles. It really helps out. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, this, and other fun stuff, you can check me out on letterboxd.com at RaisedOnPopcornWithGrant. Facebook, Raised on Popcorn with Grant. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm at RaisedGrant. You can also find me on Serialized. I'm all one word, all lowercase, Raised on Popcorn. You can also check out my podcast. Sorry about that. Raised on Popcorn with Grant, the podcast on Spotify and Anchor. Some of you already have, but even if you haven't, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. And I want to know down below, what did you think of Call Jane? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below, let me know. And until we meet again, we were all raised on popcorn. Make mine with extra butter. Catch you guys next time. Rest in peace, Leslie Jordan. You're terrific. Rest in peace, Fred. Alright, take care. Nice.